Today we have 4 stories that are going to make your blood absolutely boil. First up, a woman gets pressured to take in her sister's 3 kids, and her answer splits the entire internet. Then a guy goes on what feels like the perfect date, until one little text makes her completely explode on him. After that, a woman finds some very questionable videos on her girlfriend's page, and a message one friend sent her changes everything. And finally, a future sister-in-law turns every single family gathering into a nightmare, and someone has officially had enough. Grab a snack, get comfy, because story number 1 is already a roller coaster. Let's get into it. First up, a woman who just drained her entire savings on a tiny townhouse is being guilted into taking custody of her sister's 3 kids, and she's dropping an update on how she's handling it. It's been a hectic month, but before I dive into the update, I wanted to address a few more comments and questions from my last post that I was just too overwhelmed to elaborate on at the time. I'm sorry if it's a bit long. You can skip to the bottom for the update. I've spoken to the kids' caseworker. She interviewed me when my mother was first trying to get custody to ask about my upbringing and ensure it would be a good environment for the kids. I reached out more recently to go over logistics if I were to take them in. The caseworker told me she thinks I would be a great fit to give them a stable home, but I lack the adequate space needed to be approved as their guardian. She offered to look into low-income housing options in my area that would be big enough, but the wait lists are unbelievably long. Finals. Yes, we would receive a decent chunk of funding per child, and twice as much for the eldest on the spectrum, to help cover the kids' costs. But it's money that I would be spending on food, clothes, and other day-to-day necessities, not money I could put toward a down payment on a bigger house. That financial assistance also wouldn't be considered income as far as my MTG approval goes, because it's money for the kids, not me. And when I say we just bought a small townhouse, I meant we closed a little over a month ago and haven't even finished getting settled yet. It also took our entire savings to do so. We are financially sitting back at square one again. Breaking our brand new mortgage, not to mention the legal costs and realtor fees, etc., is not financially feasible. We also received first-time home buyer rebates in our closing costs/land transfer tax, thousands dollar, that we would have to pay back if we don't live in our new house as our primary residence for at least a year. The rent prices where I live are about twice the cost of my MTG. So even putting aside all those other factors, renting again still just doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. If I could just win a lotto, my problems would be solved. Luckily, my husband has an amazing benefits plan through his work, so dental, glasses, meds, and even therapy are all covered and would extend to the kids if we got custody. All 3 need glasses, and the youngest has a nasty habit of losing or breaking hers. Caring for special needs. I mentioned the eldest on the spectrum struggles socially and with emotional regulation. She's also incredibly bright and appreciates her space and independence. I spent a lot of time volunteering with special needs kids when I was in high school, and I know how difficult it can be. My niece is not what I would consider difficult. She might operate a little differently, but it's nothing out of my scope. My daughter is actually very similar to my niece in all of these aspects, and as I said before, my patience knows no bounds when it comes to these kids. I'm also fortunate enough to have the opportunity to work from home when needed. I do have to go into the office a couple days a week for some tasks that can't be handled remotely, but it's flexible enough that I can be home for emergencies, sick days, or even if it's just to go see their school talent show or something. My husband, on the other hand, has a very demanding job. It's impossible to do remotely, and it's not something he can easily call in sick from. Even if I had a huge emergency, he would have to wait for his replacement to enter the control room before he could leave. Building resentment in my husband and daughter. I've talked about this with my husband extensively since my sister first lost custody. He knows how much I love those girls and would support my decision to take them in if we could swing it. While I haven't talked to my daughter about it, because I don't want her to get her hopes up over something that likely can't happen, I can say that she's begged me for a sibling every year since she was a toddler. She's had a really hard time with bullies at school, and her cousins are her best friends. She would happily welcome them all with open arms, even if it meant being cramped in one room. The update. My mom and nieces are currently visiting me. We're camping just outside my city, and we seem to have found our compromise. My mom is going to take the year to scrape together what money she can for a down payment to move closer to me. She's also going to ask her DR about referrals to a DR in my city. In the meantime, I've offered to take the girls during major school breaks, summer, spring break, and Christmas. The house will still be very cramped during those weeks, but we spend the majority of the summer camping anyway, so the tight quarters aren't for very long periods of time. My husband, I truly don't know what I did to deserve him. has offered to work as much overtime as he's allowed to help us replenish our savings and hopefully get a bigger place when it's time to renew our mortgage. My work won't let me do any overtime. My sister found my original post and has been blowing up my phone with nasty texts and voice messages. She even made some wild Facebook posts about what a traitor of a sister I am. I simply don't have the energy to listen to her 2 cents on the matter, so I'm ignoring her on all fronts. We definitely can't take custody anytime soon, but we haven't shut down the possibility of taking them in the future when it makes more sense. I think this possibility is what's keeping my mother cooperative for the time being. This will likely be the last update unless the plan for my mom's move next year craps out. Knock on wood. Thank you to everyone that gave genuinely helpful advice and support. Time to go swimming. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "Best possible outcome. It takes a village. Just make sure your husband doesn't overwork himself. He comes before cousins." Another commenter said, "The plan is realistic, sustainable, and actually centers the kids' needs without blowing up your life in the process." The comments are overwhelmingly on her side here, with people praising how she's handling an impossible situation and putting those kids first without blowing up her own life. But what do you think? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. Next, a 26-year-old guy thought he just had an amazing first date with a girl who was all over him, until he sent one simple text and everything blew up in his face. 26 male, alumni, originally met a younger student, 21 female, online through a club I used to be in, and I helped students with resumes and interview prep. At first, I didn't even like her. We interacted on Discord months ago, and my role was more mentor-mentee, giving career advice and helping students. About 3 weeks ago, she reached out about something, and we started texting personally. The conversations were long, friendly, and honestly pretty flirty. As we talked more, she gave me her Instagram, and I was like, she's pretty cute. I then started to genuinely like her, not romantically at first, but eventually I became open to dating after getting to know her better. Last week, she asked me to dinner. We met up this weekend for the first time, and I was like, she's pretty cute in person too. When we met up, she was physically flirty, touching me, complimenting me, leaning in, laughing a lot, staying close, and keeping strong eye contact. After dinner, I got the bill because I thought she did like me, and she asked if I wanted to get boba or dessert with her. She paid for dessert. The vibe felt mutual, so I thought she might actually like me. She texted me she had fun, and she got home safe. Based on that, when I got home, I replied said I had fun and I'm home safe. Then I asked if she wanted to go on a real date sometime, my treat. That's when everything suddenly flipped. She sent a long emotional message saying she wasn't open to dating, that she had higher standards than me, that I misunderstood her, and that she only needed support from a friend, and that it hurts that she ended up going out with a male instead of making a friend, which she struggles with. She also said I was wrong for thinking she liked me, that maybe she may have led me on, then criticized my personality, even though she was the one being flirty in person, and she said she didn't know why I was interested in her. I feel like I don't have to explain why I'm interested in a woman. I replied once politely, "Hey, that's a bummer. No worries. I appreciate the honesty." After taking some time to think about it, I realized I can't do a friendship. Best of luck out there. After that, I stopped replying because I saw she then deleted me on Instagram and LinkedIn. About 17 hours later, she sent another message accusing me of being selfish and not empathetic for not replying to her rant sooner. She said she wished that we didn't meet and meeting me was a waste of time, that she wouldn't contact me again, and ended with "stay alive and good luck." At that point, I felt like the way she reacted made it impossible to have any kind of relationship, even casual conversation. If she had simply said, "I'm not open to dating, but I appreciate it," I would have been totally fine and still open to being at least an acquaintance. But the emotional rant, plus calling me selfish, plus saying the meeting was a waste of time, plus deleting me everywhere, made the whole thing feel irreversible. Now I'm not open to reconnecting with her at all, even if she changed her mind. The emotional volatility was too much. Am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "Actively avoid her online and in real life. No reason to try to reconnect with her." Another commenter said, "Exactly this. She is a woman with some real emotional issues. There's no telling what she would do or say if you maintain contact. Block her and avoid her for your own safety." Yeah, the comments are firmly in his corner on this one, basically telling him he dodged a serious bullet and to keep it that way. But do you agree? What would you have done in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Now, A woman notices her girlfriend keeps posting strangely intimate videos of a guy friend who just passed away, and a single text from a friend makes her question everything. Me, F, and my GF, F, have been dating for 2 years. This week, an old friend of hers, M, passed away. She hadn't talked to him for around a year as she went out of state to get a tattoo from him, and he had made her feel uncomfortable a couple of times. All I know about him is from what she has told me. He was heavily into drugs, and when she went to visit, he apparently was being reckless and dangerous. Anyway, since the news of his passing, she has constantly been posting him, which I've been comfortable with for the most part. It was just picture dumps of him and her at first. Then she started making the videos. She has posted a video compilation of him on every platform she has. Normally, I'd be a little uncomfortable, but wouldn't care because she just misses him. But some of the videos and the clips seemed like very intimate moments. There's one of him putting his finger in her mouth. Plenty of them in a bed with his shirt off, and ECT. I was pretty uncomfortable when I saw the videos, but decided I was probably being weird or something. Then my friend texted me. He asked if we had broken up. And when I said no, he responded with, "I hope that's her brother then." It kind of validated what I was feeling, so I decided to very lightly approach her about it. It was a really touchy subject, given the circumstances, so I wanted to be gentle and calm. She didn't agree with me, and she said they were all old videos and such. I brought up the fact that all of my friends follow her, as well as some of my family. I just told her I thought the video idea was really sweet and a great way to remember him, but I was just kind of uncomfortable with some of the clips. She told me the clip of the finger in the mouth was like a joke, and supposed to be funny because she was trying to talk, and he kept putting his finger in her mouth as a joke in a friend way. She's still upset at me. She decided to just take them down and delete them, and I tried to encourage her to just take a couple of the clips out of the video so we could meet halfway. But she declined and is still kind of upset about it. Am I the asshole? I feel bad. I didn't want her to completely discard the videos. Edit. I'm not thinking or have ever thought he would steal my girl. That's not my concern at all. My concern, again, is that she's posting clips of her and him doing things that make me feel uncomfortable. I don't care that they did that stuff. I care that it's being posted now. She also didn't give context to their relationship. She just say rest in peace in his name. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "She knew she went too far and trying to make you feel like it's you." Another commenter said, "But almost zero chance they weren't dating at one point. No one puts a finger in someone else's mouth platonically." I'll leave it up to you what you want to do with that information. The comments are firmly on her side here, with a lot of people convinced her girlfriend knows exactly what those videos look like. But where do you land on this one? If you're enjoying these stories so far, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And finally, a woman has spent 3 years biting her tongue while her brother-in-law's girlfriend bullies her in her own home, and now she's wondering if she can ban her for good. For some quick background, all of this drama started 3 years ago when brother-in-law's GF got sober. As happy as I am that she took those steps to benefit her life, she really changed after this for the worse and began antagonizing me and my family. Some examples. Told me if I had such bad postpartum depression that I shouldn't have had my daughter. PPD was resolved within a few months with the help of my doctor. That I was an alcoholic for having 2 glasses of wine. Once I stopped drinking in front of her, that I am an asshole for allowing my in-laws to drink in my home in front of her, glaring at my children, constantly changing her boundaries after the fact. Long story short, she tries emotionally regulate herself by controlling the actions of other people around her. 6 months ago, we told her we were done, that she was not allowed over any longer because she has been consistently rude, controlling, and bully. And frankly, we don't want that behavior or drama around our young children. Recently, we had extended family in town, my husband's dad and dad's GF. Brother-in-law vouched for his GF, and they both joined in hanging out for Father's Day. I was polite, inviting, and put my best foot forward with her. But during the 3 days we all spent together, brother-in-law's GF would glare at me and my husband, run out of the room if I was in it, and stop conversation when I entered it, in the typical mean girl you can't sit with us fashion. My in-laws didn't say anything, but they looked quite stressed. Her behavior isn't nice in any setting, but especially inappropriate when she is in my home. I don't want to allow her access to me or my children anymore due to this behavior, but my brother-in-law doesn't like drama and was pretty upset the last time we brought all this up. He'd prefer if we just ignore it and try to get along. I've been doing that for 3 years, and his GF's behavior toward me has only gotten worse. Would I be the asshole to permanently ban her from my home after this? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "For someone uncomfortable around drama, he sure picked the wrong girl to fall for." Another commenter said, She doesn't get to act however she wants, do whatever she wants, and you just ignore that. She's an adult and needs to act like one. Brother-in-law doesn't like drama. We are not the one creating it, his wife is. The comments are firmly behind her here, with most people saying her home means her rules, full stop. But what's your verdict? What would you have done in this situation? Let me know in the comments. So there you have it, for stories, for messes, and a whole lot of nerve. Which one fired you up the most? Drop your verdicts down in the comments. I genuinely read every single one. And tell me whose side you landed on. I've got even crazier stories lined up for the next video, so I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.